Dozens of new images and interviews, including investigators questioning Casey Anthony after one of her arrests. But the jail guard statements are what everyone's going to be talking about. And Mike DeForest is here with them first at 5. Mike.
Well, Jackie, Jose Baez does not want the public to see surveillance video showing Casey's reaction to that news that a child's body was found. But even if the judge seals that video, corrections officers provide a very graphic account of what happened.
On December 11th, the day a small child's body was found near the Anthony family's home, jail personnel wanted to break the news to Casey before lawyer Jose Baez had the opportunity.
And we took her down to medical to view the TV and see what was happening prior to her attorney getting here.
The TV in the jail's medical unit was showing news coverage of the discovery. Although no one knew for certain that it was the missing toddler, Casey was overcome with emotion.
She collapsed into the chair and started to what appeared to be hyperventilating. She lost her breath. We told her a couple of times to take some deep breaths. She got real shallow breathing. Her hands started to sweat. She started rubbing them profusely.
Orange County Corrections Lieutenant Tammy Unser says Casey was not necessarily watching the news, but she was definitely paying attention.
She didn't make direct eye contact with the TV, but maybe 2 or 3 times she kept her head buried in her lap.
According to Lieutenant Unser, Casey requested a sedative, which was perhaps the first time she's ever asked to take any medicine in jail.
Throughout that time, she was still breathing rapidly, talking really fast, but nothing really about the case, just that, you know, this isn't surreal, I can't cry, I can't break down and cry because this isn't real. And then she started talking about football. Yeah, off the subject. Okay. She started talking about the national championship.
About that time, Jose Baez arrived at the jail and met with Casey inside a nearby conference room, where the corrections officer says she saw Casey crying. When Baez left an hour or so later, Casey took a shower and then went back to her cell. Lieutenant Unser says Casey is normally unemotional.
Definitely different today. First time I'd ever seen emotion on her.
In this emergency motion filed just a few weeks ago, Jose Baez makes it clear he did not want even those audio recordings that you just heard to be released to the public. Just a little while ago, prosecutors sent us an email saying that they inadvertently released those recordings today as part of a bigger batch of discovery evidence that they released to the media. Mike and Jackie.
Well, Mike, what's Baez's reaction to all of that? Is he angry that the corrections officer's statements have now been made public?
No official reaction from Baez on this. He isn't commenting about it, but in his motion, he makes it very clear he didn't want those out. And State Attorney's Office acknowledging it was just kind of an oversight that these were made public today. I can almost guarantee you we are going to be hearing from Casey's lawyer about the release today. Jackie?
I'm sure we will. Mike, thank you.
We're also getting never-before-seen interviews of investigators trying to question Casey. This was from the day a grand jury indicted her for murder back in October, before Kaylee's remains were found, but certainly not before Casey was considered the prime suspect in at least Kaylee's disappearance. Adam Longo has that live from Orange County. Adam.
Yeah, Mike, after Casey Anthony was pulled over along the beach line on October 14th, the day that she was indicted, she was taken into custody then, but investigators, instead of taking her right back to jail, they took her right to the Orange County Sheriff's Office.
For almost 2 hours, FBI agents tried to engage Casey Anthony in more than just small talk.
I'll be quite honest, without the media, we don't find a quarter of the kids that we...
Oh, I agree. It helps. The exposure has helped bring in so many tips for my daughter.
About 10 minutes into the video, Casey's cuffs come off, and so do the gloves. Casey tells the agents she's ready to talk, that she's been ready to talk.
We discussed before that we have no problem sitting down together, him and I, and speaking with law enforcement, or listening to all of the questions that you have, him and I discussing it, and then we go from there.
Okay. And there's been no success with that so far?
Nobody's taken us up on that. Hey, it's Casey. I'm with Corporal Edwards. I know the last name, sorry. I'm at the Sheriff's Department.
Casey gets lawyer Jose Baez on the phone to come meet them and possibly have an open discussion with investigators. When he arrives, Casey explains to Baez that she's ready for questions.
I told him the same thing we talked about before, that we would entertain any questions that they have. We would listen and discuss it, and if we have something to respond, we'll respond.
Okay, do you want to speak to me in private?
Yes.
So we can clarify this?
Yes.
Now, after speaking in private, Baez and Casey Anthony come back into the room, at which point in time Baez tells investigators there will be no question and answer session, and he instructs investigators to bring Casey back to the Orange County Jail. Coming up tonight, new on Local 6 News at 6, find out why Casey Anthony believes investigators had it in for her since day one. Live in Orange County tonight, Adam Longo, Local 6.
And also included in the release of those new images, what could be key evidence tying what was found with Kaylee's remains to the Anthony family home. Tony Pipitone has been covering that part of today's developments. We've always been wondering exactly what connection there would be.
And what we have here are the clearest images yet of what detectives believe connects the two sites just a quarter-mile apart. And it's clear they have found material that ties the Anthony home to the site where Kaylee's body was dumped. Peer into the investigators' files and you find a roadmap of how they tried to tie items found with Kaylee's body to the Anthony home, just a short distance away. In a shed on the side of the house, they found this gas can, and when they zoomed into the duct tape attached to it, you see the brand name, Henkel, printed on the outside of the tape. The FBI would later say the tape was similar to the tape attached across the jawbone of Kaylee's skull. Then there's the plastic trash bags with yellow handles, found both in the garage of the family home and in the woods containing some of Kaylee's remains. Also in the garage, a cloth laundry bag, Whitney Design Today's Home Essential. Found with Kaylee's body, a cloth laundry bag, Whitney Design Today's Home Essential. And finally, there's the clothes Kaylee was wearing the day she died, pink striped shorts. Found inside a photo album at the Anthony home, a picture of Kaylee wearing pink striped shorts. Also, a video of YouTube shows the same scene, a mother playing with a child she's accused of killing. While evidence like that clearly doesn't help Casey's defense, we did find some conflicting statements in today's information that could help the defense claim a deputy is lying about what was at the crime scene back in August. We'll look at that new information and explore it in depth tonight at 6.
It seems like there is a lot of evidence there, but all the defense needs is any glimmer of doubt, which helps them.
A reasonable doubt is what they're looking for.
That's exactly what it's about. All right, Tony, thank you.
Okay.